The look on his face when the judge slammed the gavel was priceless. There he was, my ex-fiancé, Alexander Kane, sitting in the courtroom with his mouth open, eyes wide in pure shock, as the red, glowing X practically burned across his face in my mind. The man who once told me I was nothing without him had just lost everything, and I stood there with my arms crossed, watching him realize that the $28 million he tried to steal from me was now gone forever. My name is Sophia Reyes. At 32, I built Nexus Secure from the ground up, a cybersecurity firm that became a $28 million empire in under 5 years. I sacrificed everything for that company. Late nights, ruined relationships, my own health, and the person I trusted most tried to take it all. Alexander was my fiancé of 2 years and my chief operations officer. I loved him. I gave him power of attorney, access to every account, and even 20% equity as an engagement gift. I thought we were building an empire together, was blind. It all came crashing. Down 3 months before our wedding, I returned, early from a business trip to Dubai, and caught him in our bedroom with his mistress, my own marketing director, Lena. But that wasn't even the worst part. I heard him clearly say, "Once I transfer the company shares to my name and sell it, we'll have $28 million to disappear. Sophia will be left with nothing. She's too emotional to fight back." That night, instead of crying, I smiled, because that was the moment I decided to destroy him. I didn't scream. I didn't confront him. I simply walked out silently and started my plan. The next morning, I acted like the loving, clueless fiancé he thought I was. But behind the scenes, I moved like a predator. I hired the best forensic accountant and a cutthroat corporate lawyer. Within 2 weeks, we discovered the full betrayal. Alexander had been forging my signatures for months, siphoning money into shell companies, and preparing to dilute my shares so he could vote me out as CEO. He and Lena had already found a buyer, willing to pay $28 million for the company he thought I was too busy and too in love to notice. He was wrong. For the next 6 weeks, I played the perfect game. I let him believe his plan was working. I even let him comfort me when I suddenly felt stressed about the wedding. All while my team gathered bulletproof evidence, forged documents, secret recordings, bank trails, and messages where he mocked me, calling me easy to manipulate and just a pretty face with a company. The day he planned his coup, I let him call the emergency board meeting. He stood at the head of the table, smiling confidently, and announced that due to my mental instability and poor leadership, the board should vote to remove me and make him the new CEO. The entire room went silent. Then I walked. The color drained from his face the second he saw me. I smiled coldly and said, "Go on, Alexander. Finish what you were saying." Before he could speak, my lawyer entered with federal agents. We presented every piece of evidence, the forgeries, the embezzlement, the conspiracy with Lena, and even the offshore accounts he set up. He lost $28 million that day. Not just the company value, everything. The court froze all his assets, seized the shell companies, and ordered him to pay me full restitution plus damages. The judge also granted me a permanent restraining order. Alexander didn't just lose the money. He lost his reputation. He lost his career. He lost every single friend who only stayed for the money, Lena. Left him the moment the scandal hit the news. Last month, I sat in the same boardroom where he tried to bury me. I watched him on the news, broken, working as a low-level salesman, living in a small one-bedroom apartment. The same man who once called me weak now looks like a ghost of himself. I didn't feel sorry for him. I felt powerful. Today, Nexus Secure is valued at over $41 million. I'm stronger, wiser, and more ruthless than ever. I learned the most valuable lesson of my life. Never let anyone, especially a man who claims to love you, have unchecked power over what you built with your own hands. He thought stealing my company would give him and his mistress a dream life. Instead, it cost him $28 million and everything he had. And me? I got my empire back, my peace back, and the sweetest revenge imaginable. Now every time I walk into my office, I remember that shocked, broken face with the red X over it. And I smile. Because karma doesn't just hit back. Sometimes she walks into the boardroom in heels, crosses her arms, and takes back everything they tried to steal.